Yeah, like he was also in Sin City, but I don't know if I could have told you who he was in Sin City.
No idea who he would have been in Sin City. Did they make a sequel to that?
They did. It was not very good.
Yeah, I never saw it.
So, but I mean, his name was Cardinal Rourke, so he was probably one of the evil guys in the Elijah Wood part.
Oh, yeah, that.
But that doesn't mean I remember. He was also apparently Master Xehanort in Kingdom Hearts 3.
He was in Kingdom Hearts 3?
According to IMDb.
Wow. No idea. All right. You guys ready to...
Let's do it.
Ready to
I'm
do this
good.
thing? All right. We drag this over here. Today's the 24th, right?
It is?
I hope so.
Yeah, it is.
If not, then I don't know what this has been about. So
It's all been for naught.
it's all been for naught, pretty much. 2, 3, 6. All right, it's GameEnthus Podcast, episode 383. One of the hosts here, Aaron Tiny's also joining me.
I am here. What's going on?
And I'm doing this podcast. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. We have a guest this week. We have Will, who I don't know how much podcasting you've done, Will, but I'm glad that you decided to grace us with your presence.
Yeah, not much. I've been a guest on RF Generation Collector Cast and a few other podcasts back in the day, but never anything full time.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'm glad you decided to carve out a little bit of your evening. That's what's up.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man. So since you're here, let's tell people, who you are, what you're about, the collecting thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always been kind of behind the scenes. A lot of people know Pam, so when we go to conventions, I'm always just that guy with Pam. But whenever she's showing
She's a big
videos, yeah, and this is Will's stuff or this is Will's game. I don't know what it is. This is the Will that everybody asks about in the YouTube comments. But yeah, I don't really put myself out there that much, other than Twitter, where I complain about sports, and my Instagram, where I post my games, really. But
So you are a Blue Jays fan, reluctantly, or
That was a heavy sigh.
yeah, it's been a rough few years. We brought in some hired guns from Cleveland, and they kind of just gutted everything. They're cleaning house right now, so it's a rebuilding stage. We got our Raptors, we got our chip here in Toronto, so we'll have to deal with that for a while.
Yeah, I mean, did you think that that Kawhi was gonna leave after they won the championship?
Oh my goodness, I can't think of any time where somebody has the MVP has left their team after winning a championship ever at any point in time. Like, it's just unfathomable. And the Raptors are completely out of contention now at this point because we don't have those big man Kawhi or Danny Green, right? It's pretty rough.
I'm trying to think of a precedent for that. Like,
I can't think of one. I would have thought he'd run it back, at least sign up for 2 and then sign for a bigger max when he was a 10-year vet, but it is what it is.
I'm trying to think, what's the quarterback that won with the Eagles a couple of years ago? Didn't he leave the year after the Eagles won the Super Bowl?
I'm not a football guy, man. We have CFL up here.
Definitely not Nick Foles.
I thought he left.
How do I say this?
Okay.
He has a nickname that got used at least this year. Or I think it was this year.
Oh, I thought he left. Okay.
That is speaks to the size of his genitalia. So
all
right.
So yeah, no.
I'm not sure what that has to do with him leaving or not, but okay.
Well, just because I remember people also cheering it this year.
Okay, yeah.
So it'd be odd, once you leave the Eagles, you are dead to them, and they will probably throw batteries at you.
You might be dead to the Eagles while you're winning the Super Bowl.
Actually, that's true too. Eagles fans are terrible people. Also, please support the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia.
It's not the children's fault.
So,
sorry about that. Back to you, Will. Excuse us. we got on to the side.
That's all good.
So you have conventions now here on the outline here. You have one planned, or?
I mean, I'm sure you guys touched on you being at TMG. I don't know if Dave was there as well, but you said you were from Philly, David?
I am.
Where are you at?
I was at Too Many Games. I was running the Extra Life booth there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I had a panel with Some Call Me Johnny on the first day too.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it was fun. So
Yeah.
I got to see Pam. I did not get to see you, sir. I apologize.
It's all good, man.
So
yeah, but we were there. Yeah, and when I said conventions, I was talking more so about like future ones. She was asked to be a guest on a few, so we'll be hitting the road for a bit in September. So it should be fun. I asked you, Aaron, if you were going to head out, but I think Connecticut's a bit too far for you, understandably. So we'll be at RetroWorld.
Yeah, it's one I've never been to. If I had time, I would go. But it's just normally it's like Magfest, I'm a lock. PAX East, I'm normally a lock. But then other new things come in and it just gets look at my wife and go, "What do you think?" And she gives me a look like, "I don't think you're going." And then that's pretty much the end of it.
Fair enough. Yeah, so we haven't been to a Magfest in a few years, man. It's expensive. It's a very expensive weekend to go to Magfest, and there's a lot of people there. Like I think it was like 10,000 last time we were there. It was just insane. It's just not comfortable for us anymore. Like we're mid-30s now. I felt so weird around all like the young people. It was just
yeah. I'm 30 minutes away from Magfest, pretty much.
Yeah,
I think I take it for granted. It's like right there.
Yeah.
I mean, flying in, and especially it's around the holidays of right after New Year's. I'm pretty sure the plane tickets are not giving them away, so, as they
definitely not.
Yeah. Well, that's why you guys drove to Too Many Games, right?
We drove to Too Many Games. We normally fly to conventions. Like when we would fly to Magfest, it's like an hour flight from Toronto, but the tickets were like $600 a person. Yeah, and our dollar converts terribly. So like 3 nights at like $200 a night, it was like a $2,000, $3,000 trip for a weekend. So we did a few years, but that's about it.
Understood.
Yeah, now yeah, it's called perspective. Like, yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, you can't do them all, right?
Yeah,
but I mean, if Pam's getting invited to some, I mean, I'm assuming some of the stuff is comped and things like that. So that's the way to do it.
Yeah, RetroWorld. This is actually the first time something's actually been comp for us, which we really appreciate if anybody there's listening. But yeah, it's great not having to worry about that this time around because we've been to RetroWorld since its inception and we've flown every year. And again, $600 to go to some little airport in Hartford, an hour away by flight. It sucks, but we're driving this year, so yeah, should be a good time. Unfortunately, we won't see you, but probably see you next year at TMG. So
yeah. You ever think about going to PAX?
No, that's in Boston, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That's not really for me. Pam loves that stuff because that's more modern stuff, right?
Yeah, a lot of indie stuff. So yeah,
that's her cup of tea. Not me so much.
You ever thought about going down? What's the one that the what's those guys? Game Chasers do? Retropalooza.
Oh, in Texas.
Yeah, that's even further, right?
I was gonna say I don't think I'll be going to Texas, man. $1,200 flight a person, but
it's a quick 48-hour drive. I don't know how many hours it is, but no,
it's a long one, man.
No.
Yeah, that's. But I know you are into the retro stuff, and you still have a complete Saturn collection, or you're rebuilding it.
No. Those went a while ago. I like to dabble in other things. I don't like to sit on stuff for too long. I think I honestly have a lot of fun finding stuff. But I do have a Saturn collection, not the full thing anymore. Right now I'm messing around with TurboGrafx, so hopefully I can pick up some new stuff soon.
It's too bad that Mike isn't on. Mike is a huge TurboGrafx fan. Like he's like the biggest one that I know of. Like he loves. I only knew one kid who had one growing up. Nobody around me had them. Just that one kid. Just like the Master System, that one kid. Different kids, but I
think it's a similar story for most people you talk to with the TurboGrafx and Master System. You knew one person. You didn't know him that well, but that one guy you heard of at school that had that stuff. But yeah,
that one guy hyping up Alex Kidd. You played it, was like, it's okay. But what some of your favorites on the TurboGrafx?
So far, I have Splatterhouse. I'm having a good time with that. I got Rondo of Blood in the mail today, actually. Nice. I was playing that just before we started, and wow, it's beautiful. Bonk, all the shooters on there. I could sit here and talk about it forever, but now I'm having a really good time learning some new stuff on Turbo. It's always fun learning about titles you haven't haven't heard about, and especially with Turbo, none of that stuff was multi-platform. Whereas Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, you want Battletoads or you want Sunset Riders Turtles, they're on both consoles. But with this stuff like Bonk or Military Madness, for example, I would have never ever thought I would enjoy that game, but I picked it up and I'm just like, this is so fun. So I'm having a really good time learning new things.
That's what's up. Yeah, I have one TurboGrafx game. Mike gave it to me. It's a copy of Vigilante. It's very rare.
Fun. Vigilante's pretty fun too. Reminds me of Kung Fu on NES. I think Irem did that one as well.
Yeah, they did both of those. And I believe it was from a game called Spartan X, which is based on a movie with Jackie Chan called Meals on Wheels, supposedly.
Oh my goodness. I didn't know all that, but
same game. I mean, I don't know what that's to do with the movie or not, but it's a fun game. Yeah.
That's cool.
You walk to the side and punch people. Although Vigilante, I always felt like the enemies always held me, and then my life just drains.
Yeah, that's kind of their MO. They do that in Kung Fu as well, but I feel like Kung Fu had a better like hitbox and hit detection. But
agreed.
Good times.
Yeah. So you still playing Overwatch?
Yes, and there's some big changes coming that's really going to make things a lot better for us. So I play. Not like to the level where I'm getting paid to play, but I play pretty high-end competitive. And the big problem with Overwatch now is that Smurf accounts. So I don't know if you're familiar with that term, but you have to like grind to get to my level. So I play at like master's level, and people can buy Smurf accounts for like $20, and then they start a second alt account where they're hidden from their main account, and they just act like idiots on these Smurf accounts, and they don't really care because it doesn't affect their main account. So it's sort of separate. So what the new thing's coming in is doing, it's protecting the team composition. So for players like myself who are actually, I don't have time to mess around. I'm an old man. I come home from work, I play for an hour or two. I want to have a good time. It protects me from people playing on their Smurf accounts. It's just acting like nothing matters because it's away from their private account. So it's a really great change. I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, Tiny, you're a big fan of Overwatch. You purchased it for me on the Xbox One.
I did.
I thought you did. Didn't you?
I thought. I don't know. Oh wait, I might have given it to you on Xbox One. I was gonna say you got given it on PC for a charity thing.
You love bringing that up.
Well, that's because that's the one I was thinking of. I got it for both you and Mike on Xbox One at one point. But no, the team comp thing seems interesting. The lock to a 2-2-2.
Yeah.
And then the announcement of Sigma, which is now on the PTR.
Sigma from Mega Man X. Interesting.
Yeah, no, they just the Capcom Blizzard crossover that you've been waiting for. So I mean, I haven't played him yet, but some of his set seems interesting because it seems like a repurposed Symmetra shield.
Yeah,
since he has that shield that goes forward. Yeah. So I mean, it's Overwatch has maybe it'll pull back some players. So
I'm sure with Apex out there and the others that were already there. I mean, is that community like starting to dwindle a bit, or is it still going pretty strong?
I mean, I think Blizzard definitely has acknowledged that they've seen a downturn in players. It's still huge. It's not but Blizzard's definitely seen a downturn in players. It's a now over 3-year-old game. So,
yeah, it's 3 years old.
Yeah, so it's a question of at some point there's just going to be burnout. But on the other hand, they just announced like you have the investments that people are making into Overwatch League. Like this upcoming season 3, won't all be in LA because by this point, the teams have set up stadiums or are playing in other stadiums in their home cities. So like in Philadelphia, it'll be at the Comcast Center.
So you have LA, Philly. What are the other teams?
New York, Dallas, Shanghai, London. And I know there's more. I just can't remember them off the top of my head.
We got one in Toronto too.
But there's also, I believe, at least 2 more cities now being added.
Okay.
So yeah.
Didn't they release like how much it cost? Was like $100,000 to start a team or something like that? Or
it was not inexpensive to join said league. Again, which is why, like, the Philadelphia one is owned by Comcast, your favorite internet provider.
Everyone's favorite.
So, yeah. So it's I mean, there's definitely growth in it, and it definitely has pieces, but I don't know. My playtime has definitely fallen off. So, but yeah.
Nothing lasts forever. No, I don't know. It's one of those things where, you know me, I don't put enough time into any one thing. I mean, I like Farrah, and Farrah was cool, but I played like 4 times and then saw something shiny. Ooh, something shiny. And then never got back to it. So, but it's still there.
Listeners are familiar by the number of games you talk about every week.
Sometimes there's repeats every once in a while. You know, like, it happens. All right, well, I see a Boondocks here on the outline, man. Are you preparing for it to come back?
Yeah, exactly. I saw that they announced season 5 is coming back, so I've been going through seasons 1 and 4 again, just having a good time. Fantastic show. I'm sure you watched it.
I did. I assumed that for season 5 that Aaron Magruder is not coming back.
It's correct.
Yeah, that always kind of, but
we'll see what they can do. Hopefully they can keep the magic. But yeah, just been catching up on rewatching that. It's having a good time.
Yeah, at BlurCon, there was a guy walking around who was a pimp named Slickback. So everybody say Slickback. He's like, oh, you got to say my full name. It's a pimp named Slickback. So I heard that many times. He had it down pat. So yeah, that show was something else.
Yeah, it was great. It's really edgy for the time because look back, I think it came out in like 2006, 2007, because the R. Kelly trial was the first episode before all this started. Like the original one when he first got in trouble back in like 03, 04, they were doing that then. Yeah.
And now it took all this time to catch up with him.
Yeah. I think maybe they'll touch on it in the season 5.
I hope so. I mean, they have talk about material.
Yeah.
It's crazy out there. So.
Yeah, they're gonna have a lot of good stuff for sure. They got your friend in the office down there, and lots of great stuff.
Yeah. Hey, there might be some Trudeau stuff in there. You never know. So,
who knows?
It could happen. All right. Anything else you want to share with the listeners during this anecdotal phase of the show?
No, I'm good. You guys can. I feel like I'm hogging. Let's hear some other stuff.
No, you're the guest. Wow, I'm forgetting that Mike is not here, so I guess that means I have to say something now. Mike, hurry up.
Aaron, have you seen any movies lately?
Yes, I saw The Lion King last night. Took the with the wife and kid. We normally go Tuesdays now because AMC does the whole $5 ticket thing. So for 5 people, it makes the most sense to go on Tuesday. Lion King was. I kind of went into it like Aladdin, where it took me like 5 to 10 minutes to wrap my head around the fact that. I mean, I know going in it's not the same movie, but just to like move my brain around to realize, okay, this is gonna be different. Just get used to it. Gotcha. It was cool. It worked. It to me worked better than Aladdin did. Like it wasn't live action, but I don't know what do you want to call it? Like realistic visuals looking Lion King. I don't know what you want to call it because none of it was really live, but it was fine. I don't think it in any way was better than the other one, but the hand-drawn animated one. But I don't know. Maybe your first Lion King is your favorite. I mean, that's how it goes. So, did you see it?
No.
Do you have any plans on seeing it?
No.
Will, are you going to see The Lion King?
No, we're not. We haven't even seen Avengers yet. Yeah, I know. And we have movie passes like stuck to our fridge I got from work. Mm-hmm. And we could go for free, and we still haven't had a chance to go. It's just she's really busy with all the stuff she does, and when I come home from work, I just want to, chill out. So it's hard to find time to do that stuff, but definitely no Lion King if I get a chance to see a movie. Not that there's anything wrong with it.
I know, that's all good. It's all good.
I mean, I love the original one, right? I had it as a kid, but no, I'll probably watch it when it comes to DVD or Blu-ray or whatever.
Yeah, of course, people did a lot of content based on Lion King. I know the completionist of the video, the week before last on Lion King.
On the Sega, Super Nintendo Sega game.
Yeah, and of course, it reminded me of the fact that, me and many others, I'm sure that this, because of the rental market for games, they made it insanely difficult. So they put the difficulty at the front end. I mean, it's really difficult at all, but like that level where the monkeys are like throwing Simba. They made it impossible for a kid to figure out. Now, why making it difficult would make the kid say to their parent, like, "Hey, why don't we buy this game? I can't get anywhere on, but instead of renting it." I don't know. I wonder. I mean, I'm sure there's no metrics, but like, how would that work if it's that difficult? When it gets to a point where it's not fun anymore, why would I want to own this?
But I don't know if it's necessarily a question of the rental market converting to a purchase, as more if you deter the people from renting this, the people that are buying this will be you're not losing the money out to people that rented it and beat it, so they never considered buying it at all.
True.
It wasn't a conversion. It was a, hey, we want to discourage rentals, so this will happen if people go out and just buy the game. Because I mean, it was a different landscape at that point. Like, you weren't, the best you were getting was like Nintendo Power or whatnot, saying like, this game's awesome, brought to you by Nintendo.
We made it. Buy this game.
So like, I mean, there was a different discourse about video games happening at that point. So
agreed.
But I mean, it's the same idea, and we talked about it last week about like, why is Castlevania or Contra, like, why is the Japanese version of those games easier than the North American version? And it's because they were like, hey, Blockbuster exists. So
there's no yeah, there were no rentals in Japan, so it's like, whatever.
It is illegal to do this here in in this country. Yeah. So, so I mean, it's why you see it. So,
yep.
But anyway.
Yeah, did you finish Jessica Jones season 3?
I did not, but I've gotten now multiple people texting me about it.
I did not. All right.
Well, I haven't finished season 2.
Oh. Season 2.
I pretty much fell off. I didn't watch the last. I watched the last Daredevil series either.
You didn't watch. Did you watch The Punisher?
I watched season 1 of The Punisher. I'm trying to remember if I watched season 2 of The Punisher.
Was there a season 2?
Wasn't there?
I think so.
I think so too.
I don't know. Anyway, I saw them all.
I'm behind on.
I mean, Jessica Jones season 3 was better than 2, but 2 was really bad to me. I want you to finish it so we could just discuss it, just because there's some things that happened that just I never would have expected at all in a weird way. So it to me, the ending was all right. They wrapped it up.
I don't know. I got messages about it today, weirdly enough, asking, did I watch it? This was from another friend. He was confused about the Hellcat's powers. Yes. And also if Jessica Jones is invulnerable or like damage resistant.
The problem with those shows is they're 13 episodes, about an hour long, and the writers clearly just stretch stuff out. We're like, her powers have never really been consistent. It's like she can lift a car, but then it just doesn't make sense. I don't know.
Gotcha.
She only jumped a couple of times.
Is it the same idea as like, not to spoil anything about the new Spider-Man movie, but like Tom Holland Spider-Man doesn't really have a spider sense.
Well,
like you only see it once, and that's in Avengers Endgame when they're on the bus, and his hair stands up.
You saw Far From Home, right? So
did he? But okay.
So
not even talking about Far From Home right now. Why not even go down there? He got beat up by a guy in a vulture robot suit, which seems like it should have been something that really would have been well for his spider sense to be like, behind you, bro.
Well, I think that's one of the themes is like he's learning and growing into. He's still learning about what he can and can't do. So
I mean, I get the Peter tingle, but it's just this Spider-Man seems like he has less of a spider sense, and that's like the discretion of.
Well, that might break it too. It's like if you can sense almost everything, then.
I mean, it's the same idea. And Will, you might agree. It's the same idea as if you do a horror movie today, or oh man, everyone has cell phones.
Yep.
So you better take cell phones out of the picture. Otherwise, most of this is bullshit. I wonder what could be happening. Let me look it up on my phone.
Let me live stream this murder. Oh, well, I'm not going to go in your house. Okay. All right, cool.
Where could this person be? Let me find my iPhone. yeah, it's
Yeah, it
there
does.
there are
fall
yes,
apart.
there are conventions you need to consider. So, but
All right.
anyway,
Yeah, we can't talk all about it, but MCU, they at San Diego Comic-Con, they announced their Phase 4 and Phase 5 stuff. Seems interesting. The fact that Mahershala Ali is going to be Blade, I'm intrigued. It also just means yet another slap in the face to the Netflix shows because he was Cottonmouth in the first season of Luke Cage. I mean, they just.
oh no, they're dead. Like
Oh
Netflix,
yeah, it's like it never happened. So
they're dead. Like the 3 times they mentioned the other stuff in those series, doesn't matter.
nope.
It's the same idea as Agents of Shield though. Like that's also pretty much dead to the MCU. So
Yeah, they don't really care.
so I mean, Kevin Feige came out and said like, "Yo, I don't like this some of this stuff." So yeah, but I mean, yeah, no, that's that. The new Thor, Shang-Chi, and what he's going up against the Ten Rings, which means the Mandarin, which means
The real Mandarin. Hopefully.
they'll fix the Mandarin from Iron Man 2, 3, 3, yeah.
Jane Foster is supposed to be
will be becoming Thor.
I hope
Which,
they make it make sense and do it the right way.
The only thing I'm confused about is that movie is supposed to take place before Guardians
3, which doesn't really make,
which is referenced in and anyway. So yeah, comic books. They're fun.
Yep, they're a thing.
So yeah. So whatever. I thought Jane Foster's Thor was pretty cool. Though I saw someone being like, Valkyrie should be Thor. Like, I mean, that's like doubling up on the Asgardian power set right there. But I guess, like, yes, she would make a better Thor because she already is super strong. And,
yeah, she's already Asgardian, so yeah.
It's already an Asgardian and can already summon a horse. Though she hasn't done the winged horse thing yet. You see in the flashbacks though. Anyway, so
and the Eternals.
The Eternals, yeah.
Of whom I don't know very little about.
Our listeners got judgy on me when we talked about this last time. Cersei is the Eternal I think of first, who you would have to go back to like 90s Avengers comics and probably to see her mostly. So the Eternals are made so.
Are you afraid of sounding too nerdy or what? I mean, it's too late for that.
I'm trying to think of how to.
We're like 10 minutes into this.
The quickest way possible. Celestials came to Earth. Yes. Celestials are the giant, like, robot-looking dudes at the beginning of. Well, the head is in Guardians. That's where Nowhere is, and then they show up at the beginning of.
Who killed that Celestial?
Infinity War. That's a whole other thing. We're not going to go down that road right now.
We don't have time. Okay.
So Celestials come. If it depends on which version of Marvel Comics you're talking about, Celestials put a Celestial baby in the planet, and then they build up life forms to defend said Celestial as it gestates inside the planet. And Galactus is their natural predator to come eat their babies. That's why he sucks the energy out of the planet. Eternals are the first set of life forms that the Celestials made on Earth. Mm-hmm. And they're like super powerful, immortal people. But then they were challenged by the Deviants, which are just like, hey, what if every life form in this, you can't even call them a race because everyone is different, like 100% different genetic code. And then the humans came after the Immortals defeated the Deviants and allowed the third population to take over the planet, which is where humans come from.
Okay.
So I don't know how any of this will work inside of the movie. Because, Eternals could also just be their chance to like, hey, we tried to set this all up with the Inhumans and that
didn't work at all.
So, so comic books. So, but the other thing to know is, Thanos, who is a Titan, or is from Titan, is also an Eternal. Is part of that same group. So yeah, but comics. So we'll see. I don't know. they announced a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, they'll get my money, so that's whatever.
And then Doctor Strange is supposed to go to the multiverse
With Wanda.
With Scarlet Witch
and hopefully Wong as well, but we'll see.
But also Vision and Scarlet Witch are getting a TV show at the same time on the Disney streaming service at the same time that Bucky and Falcon are getting one.
Yep.
And there's Hawkeye. And then there's a What If series, which I guess that's
animated though.
Is it? Yeah. This I didn't know about that one. Yeah. So comic books. Yeah. And Captain Marvel 2, Black Panther 2 also were mentioned. And Guardians 3. So yeah, Marvel's gonna keep riding this very, very profitable train. So
and what is it? Endgame eclipsed Avatar.
Yep.
For most box office, the biggest box office ever or whatever.
So
yeah.
Marvel or Disney beat Disney. I can't believe it.
Yeah, they own it all. So yeah.
Who'd believe that?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's it for me.
That's a lot of comics.
That's a lot of stuff.
I'll be real quick. I started watching Star Trek Discovery season 2.
I need to start watching that.
After there was a lot of it was the 50th anniversary of Apollo 11 this weekend. I was like, man, I'm really in a Star Trek mood again. So I re-signed up for CBS All Access. And Discovery is real good, and that Picard trailer looks also very good.
It does. It does, and they're bringing back so many characters from Next Generation. I'm like, all right, I'm in.
With
Data and
so that's the weird thing. I don't believe it's Data.
Well,
because they killed Data off at the end of the last movie. It's his brother that they find in the movie.
Beta? What's his brother's name?
I'm trying to remember right now. It's not Lore, but it's another one. He was an earlier prototype.
Oh, well, it's Brent Spiner. That's the important.
But that's why you see Data disassembled in the in one of the scenes. He's opening up, and you see. So maybe they could bring back Data. I don't know, but he dies in a shit. He saves Picard, and then a ship explodes with him in it, essentially. So we'll see. The 7 and 9, Jerry Ryan was there. Marina Sirtis and Jonathan Frakes have already said Radker and Troy are also back. I'm surprised. Oh God, Michael Dorn hasn't said anything yet, at least as far as I know. Because where's Worf? And I saw people asking, where is Geordi gonna also be back? So pretty much they're like, can we just have Next Generation again? Which I'd be okay with. But so we'll see. But yeah, that's that and Discovery getting a 3rd season. So
yeah, I saw that they are filming the 3rd.
And I guess the one weird thing, man, we're talking a lot about TV. So it's like the Xbox One launch conference. Anyway, the Orville is now going to Hulu for season 3 because it will not be able to make the deadline for its mid-season due date. So it'll be Fox's and what Seth MacFarlane came out and said it's going to go to Hulu for season 3, which I don't know. The Orville's real good. If you like Star Trek stuff, it's probably the best Star Trek that was on regular television. On non-subscription service. So that stinks. That to see the 3rd season, you'll have to go buy another service. So, but yeah.
Well, that's our future of us being glad that we got rid of cable. We can get streaming services until someone says, I can put all these streaming services together in one big package, and we go, that's brilliant. Give us that. And we're right back to cable.
Well, I enjoy being on the early adopter phase of things. I never got rid of cable.
Why?
Because
how often do you watch actual television?
This is a very good argument I've had in my brain a lot. Do you watch TV? It is for the convenience when people come over, or like my family or whatnot. I don't have to try to.
They can watch YouTube. It's
So it is literally for that. And like the funny thing is, all I do is watch HBO. Really, like I don't change off of most of the time. So it's like cool. But anyway, yeah, I've been looking again at cutting it, but it's like at some point for me to be able to get the stuff I want. I don't care about sports for the most part. And I'll just hear about the next time Philadelphia like loses something and we go crazy.
That never happens.
No, never. But it's more like, oh, hey, I'm going to have to go subscribe or figure out a way, which isn't hard, to get the BBC content if I want Doctor Who when it comes back or all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this is convenient. So
I guess. Will, do you have cable?
No, we haven't had cable in 7 years. We have an Android box for all that stuff. It's easy. Does what it needs to do.
Making me feel like an old person. Gotcha. So
you have coax running all through your house.
I was gonna have coax running all through my house no matter what.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't ripping out the walls like, haha, the copper. No.
Could sell it.
So
well, that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah.
Did you get the email with the voicemail in it?
I'm doing that right now. So computer
Thank you, sir.
sound share. You should hear it now.
Not with that attitude. Hey guys, it's your boy Mike from DC. Calling again with another question. You know, something gamers don't seem to talk that often about are our gaming setups, you know? So I'm just curious, what your guys' gaming setups look like? I mean, you know, what do you like what do you use for video? CRT, you know, you just gotta have those scan lines. Maybe a monitor for that ultra low response time. Perhaps some of you use a projector so your characters can be as close as possible to their cannon size. Or maybe one of you has one of those bleeding edge 8K TVs because, you know, GameEnthus money is just that good. Also, some of you guys use surround sound with, you know, between 5, 7, 9, 11 speakers. Maybe stereo. Because, you know, you got 2 ears, so all you need are 2 speakers.
2 speakers. That's, you know, that's...
Some of you are headphone guys. Maybe use 1 speaker, because, you know, if mono sound was good enough for your grandparents, then, gosh darn it, good enough for you. Lastly, I'm curious, what kind of controllers do you all use? You know, standard, you know, a lot of R&D goes into those, you know. Also, or like Elite, Scuff, maybe some crazy custom that your cousin made for you. Maybe one of you use one of those like weird slime controllers or that bizarre Resident Evil chainsaw controllers.
Wish I had one.
Light sticks, steering wheels, and all those other sort of extra peripherals. Anyway, thanks guys. Later.
All right. Well, thank you, Mike, for calling in and asking those questions. Will, I have some idea of the stuff that you have already, but I guess I'll start with you. Your setup.
Yeah. So I'm pretty big into that stuff. I'm really particular how I like my things to look. So in our game room, we have 3 televisions. We have the 60-inch 4K TV for like the Xbox One, the PS4, the Switch, all that stuff. And then beside that, we have a smaller LCD TV. I don't like really playing retro games on the big TV. It feels kind of weird to me because I like to sit really close when I'm playing retro games, kind of get that nostalgic feel. So for systems that can output HDMI, like I have the Analog NT, the Super Analog NT, etc., I play them on the smaller LCD TV. And then to the left of that, I have a Sony PVM. So whenever I get something RGB modded, like the Turbo Duo or Saturn does RGB stock or Genesis, I play it on the PVM for the most authentic experience. I love those scan lines. I love no input lag. I love the sound that comes out of them through the TV. It's fantastic.
Do you have a Framemeister and all that kind of stuff too?
Yeah, we have a Framemeister. Pam does a lot of her recording from the Framemeister, and yeah, she loves it. Personally, I have a lot of hard times with it because each system has a different profile, and you got to find the one that matches the right one correctly, or else this looks bad or that looks bad, and it's I find it cumbersome personally, but people swear and love the Framemeister. Give me a PVM any day. It's just plug and play the way it's supposed to look. It's beautiful.
You really are a purist. You're not playing, man. Like,
Yeah, I love it, man.
and they stopped making the Framemeister, right? That's not even being manufactured anymore. So
Yeah, apparently they discontinued it. They have the OSSC now, which I've heard is a very, very respectable substitute. I haven't really delved into that because I've got the PVM, but I've been meaning to check the OSSC out. Do you have any sort of?
I just have a retro Tink, so I don't have any. Which that suits my needs, and that's pretty much for my N64. And if I play Master System or something like that, which often I just play it on the Retron, but sometimes I do want the actual play it on the system itself.
See, don't you find that there's input lag on the Retron?
No.
Wait, don't let me put it in your head then.
Well, see, now I see it.
Because I was trying to play on Pam's room, and she has an LCD TV set up with the Retron. I was trying to play some Punch Out, and you know how very precise timing that game has.
Oh yes.
And I was just like, what's going on, right? This TV sucks. And so she tried to play Aladdin for her next review. Spoiler alert, she's reviewing Aladdin. And she's like, oh, the input lag's terrible. I can't play. So she tried it on the PVM, and she's like, this is unbelievable. It's a world of difference, she found. So yeah, the Retron for me, I can't do it with the input lag. But if you don't notice it, forget this conversation happened, and best of luck to you.
Ignorance is bliss, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny you mentioned that. A lot of reviewers have been taking a look at YouTube folks who look at the GBA consoleized.
Yeah, I saw
thing
that.
that's out, and I know Metal Jesus, he compared that to the Retron, some other things, and he was pointing. I mean, because it's side by side. Oh yeah, I can see it now, but I don't know. I guess I don't play it that much, but when I do, it seems fine to me. I'm losing, which is the norm. So what's the difference?
Fair enough.
So in terms of audio setup, what do you have for your audio?
So the PVM doesn't actually produce sound on its own. You need to have speakers that go like external speakers, like bookshelf speakers. So that's what I use. I've used a pair of Polk Audios for those, and usually like a sound bar for the TV. Nothing too fancy. But yeah.
All right. And any special controllers?
Nothing out of the ordinary. We do have like GunCon set up, and Sega Saturn Stunner for the CRT with the PVM. I actually tried to play some House of the Dead the other day, and I was telling Pam, I remember when I was younger, like I could sit there and I could one credit clear the whole game, and I was so hyped the whole time into it. And now I tried to play it, and like my arm gets sore after like 5 minutes. I'm like, yo, I am done. I'm an old man. I can't do this anymore. So yeah, I don't know what happened, man. If I'm just getting old and feeble. I'm not that old, but yeah, I can't play those gun games anymore. My arm just can't stand up anymore for that long.
I try to play RE4. I mean, you're probably gonna scoff at this. I have a Wii sitting. My Wii is within like 5 feet away. I have a Wii U, but I was playing RE4, the Wii version, through Dolphin on my PC, and I have a USB powered Wii sensor bar. And I'm holding my hand up with the Wiimote playing the game. I'm like halfway through the village, like I'm tired. I don't know, like, should I feel like this? Like,
yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one, man.
Oh man, you're not. Like, it's a thing. I mean, there are things we used to be able to do and not even think about it.
Yeah, like when we were kids, I don't remember ever, putting down the NES app and being like, you know what, my arm hurts. I need a break. That never crossed my mind. But now I was just trying to like find a position where I could lean and put my elbow on something so I could play, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah, Mike's wife that had her birthday party was a Back to the Future themed birthday, and he had Hogans Alley set up, from Back to the Future 2 when in the was it the diner or whatever.
Yeah, that's
so he had it set up on a CRT, so it was nice. It's very accurate,
Yeah, it's fun for a few minutes to, remember how we played back in the day, but trying to actually like clear a game, like a 30-40 minute game with your arm sticking out, though, I can't do it, man.
Nah. Hogans Alley is pretty short though, so
yeah.
Well, no, it wasn't Hogans Alley. It was sorry,
Wild Gunman.
I don't know why I said Hogans Alley. Wild Gunman, excuse me.
It's all good.
And we used our hands, so it was a baby's toy. So yeah. Yeah. Tony, you ready to go? Answer the questions. You want me to go?
Yeah, no, I can run through real quick.
Okay.
So the primary TV is a 65-inch 1080p because I've not decided that I want to go spend that money again on a 4K TV, and I'm not going to buy something small. and that has all of this generation hooked up to it, and a 5.1 tuner connected to it. But that's all run around there. For a controller, I mean, I guess the fanciest one is the Elite controller for the Xbox One, which I still have. And then in the background, you can see I have 2 tube TVs still set up, one with component and one based on composite. And just using standard sound stuff for that. And yeah, if it's a controller, I probably own some version of it. I mean, Steel Battalion is sitting next to me right now.
There you go.
So, and I have a flight stick over there that I was gonna play a lot of Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen on my PC, and I have not done either. So yeah, so I mean, it's all like, I mean, I also have. We were lucky enough to pick up, or I was lucky enough, the 25-inch PlayStation monitors. Have like 3 of them now. So if I'm streaming, I'm probably playing off of one of those. So yeah. So what about you, bud?
I'm pretty basic. There's like a 55 inch. It's like a 10-year-old 1080p television. I have no CRTs. I spend most of my time actually on my computer because everything on the TV is also wired in to go through to play on my middle display. I have 3 monitors set up on my middle display here. Pretty basic. I just have earbuds in, nothing fancy. But I do have like a 5.1 on the other part of the room. Yeah, just regular stuff. You know, like I said, I'm already slumming it. I have a Retron. But I find the Retro Tank is nice for especially for N64, which is one of my favorites. So once you get some S-Video going through there, it looks pretty decent. So yeah, in terms of controllers, just mainly just all the first-party stuff. The most expensive one I have is the Elite that Tiny and Mike got for me a couple of years ago. That's pretty much it. Just first-party stuff. I play a lot of Switch, but I play my Switch 90% of the time with a Switch Pro controller. I very rarely actually use it as a handheld, which is probably defeating the purpose, but here we are.
That controller is fantastic. I love that controller.
It's just, the one thing it's missing, I mean, given the cost, the headphone jack. Nice to get some audio coming right out of it, but it's not a showstopper or anything, but it'd be nice.
So, well, what? They just announced a third party that's going to have a headphone jack in it.
But it's wired, though.
It is.
So, it's something. It is something. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Most of my systems are, most of them really aren't hooked up. But everything is within like an arm's reach just to plug it in real quick and be good to go. But it is all kind of set up and visible. So when you come into my house, you can definitely see what I'm into. Although I have to say that the board game collection is growing quite a bit, and I actually moved a bunch of stuff out to the garage because I had probably a couple hundred Xbox 360 and Wii PS3 cases, empty cases, just stacked up on a shelf, and it's like, why bother? So I just took that stuff out and then just started putting more of the big the board game boxes in there because it just seemed to make sense to do that. So. Oh, and Scoop Moose says, still waiting for that video. It's nothing impressive, Scoop. It's just regular. Yeah. Most of my games are digital. I can show you the hard drives. There's 1,000 games on this one.
This hard drive has so much stuff on it.
Yeah. I mean, nobody else has this but me, so yeah. That's pretty much it. So. All right, games you've been playing. Will.
Yeah. So Pam and I have been trying to play some co-op games. We tried to play Sonic Mania co-op. I don't know if you've played Sonic Mania co-op, but it is kind of a mess. And the reason for that is Sonic and Tails are on the screen at the same time. And it's a very obviously fast-paced game. So Pam is very slow and methodical with her platforming. Like, she wants to get every ring. She wants to kill every crab. And I'm gone, right? I'm just at the edge of the screen, like, hurry up. And so
an argument waiting to happen.
it's a mess. So we tried to play some Sonic Mania co-op. It didn't work out so well. So we busted out the classic Mario Brothers, the new Super Mario Brothers U that they put on Switch. I don't get the fascination with having both players play at the same time. Like I can understand the fun in it, but like the collisions and the bumping each other off cliffs and stuff, it gets to be really cumbersome. And like eventually it just got to the point where I would just pick her up and just carry her through the whole level. And just because we'd be platforming through tight stuff and she'd be bumping into me, knocking me off the edge, or because the collisions even happen in midair. It's a mess, but it's pretty fun. And other than that, on Switch, I've been playing some Gunlord. I don't know if you ever played that. It was the indie game that was made by NG Dev. They actually made a physical cart for it on Neo Geo AES a few years back. I think it was the last Neo Geo game they made. And they also made a physical version for it on Dreamcast. So like a homage to Turrican. If you ever played Turrican, the UK company that made that one. I think some of the guys made Gunlord as well, but that's very similar. It's a great game. And finally, been playing some Ninja Warriors. I'm sure you played that arcade game back in the day, the one from Taito.
Oh, yeah.
They're re-releasing it on Switch and PS4, like a remastered version, kind of like they did Wild Guns. They're doing a physical version of that in the next couple of weeks, so I thought I would revisit the Super Nintendo game, and it still holds up today. That game is fantastic fun. So
I think I have Wild Guns in the shrink wrap for PS4. Never opened it.
Seriously?
It didn't come with the keychain either, which is just disappointing.
No, they did a fantastic job with that remaster, and I hope they could do similar with the Ninja Warriors. But you should give that a try if you get a chance, man. It's got a really there's like the hard mode, which is back in the day Super Nintendo difficulty, and there's a really easy mode that kind of eases you into it. So I don't know how good you are at those type of games, but
not very.
I think you would have fun even on the easy mode. It's pretty good.
They added characters to it too, right? And they add a bunch of stuff.
They added a dog and a woman. The dog kind of flies on like a spaceship and stuff. It's pretty fun.
Like they do. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dogs can't fly on spaceships, but yeah, they'd added some stuff to it, but it's a good time.
Cool.
What have you been playing? Because I see a lot of things here.
Yeah,
welcome to Aaron's list.
This is a weekly thing. So I'm playing the Redeemer, more of that on the Switch. That came out on Steam like a year ago, maybe. Sort of a top-down game, action. I probably described it with too much detail last week. This is a game where like you fight a bigger enemy, and instead of like, and I guess your reward for defeating them is you get to like do a special kill on them. Unlike regular enemies, you just knock them out and they fall down. The bigger enemies, you have a chance to like bash their head in or throw them into a fire. The usual things that people like to do. And it's funny, I got an email from one of the PR folks saying, hey, we're aware that, because I was noticing some framiness when I got to like the second or third level. And I'm glad it was addressed. They said, basically, the developers are aware of the framiness and they're coming out with a patch. There was no date, but they said they're trying to get it up as soon as possible, get it released for people. And I haven't done a video for it yet, but I'm going to mention it. But then I'll mention the fact that they are aware. But the one thing that gets me is like, they were aware before it came out. It wasn't like it was a revelation to them that it was choppy. It just, they released it anyway. It's still fun.
Known shippable.
Yeah. It's like, it can't be like an emergency now, but things happen, it's
maybe had the deadlines or something they had to meet to get it out there. So, and
they probably wanted it everywhere day and date because it came out on PS4, Xbox One. So I get it, but it's still fun, and it seems like the second and third levels, like stealth comes more into play. Like you can see icons showing you where an enemy is looking on the edges of the screen. So it really behooves you to sort of pay attention to that, and then you can walk up and just hit one button and just do a stealth kill, which helps because the enemies, they hear everything. If you're punching somebody, they're going to hear their coworkers' teeth being knocked out and investigate what's going on, as any of us would do.
As you should do, yes.
Exactly. So it's art imitating life. This is a game I highly recommend, Eagle Island on the Switch. I think it's on PC too.
Have you been throwing a lot of eagles?
Yes, it is so much fun. I've seen this game probably at like multiple PAX Eats, multiple too many games. And I always see it, I like platformers. I like retro-looking game, indie look, 16-bit looking games. Oh yeah, it looks cool. I'm not going to wait in line right now. I'll check it out. And I got it in, and it's great. It has this mechanic where you have 4 slots. and you can pick up like a random. It's a rogue light, I believe. Well, it's not. Well, maybe it's not. There's a like the levels are randomly generated. I put it that way.
Gotcha.
So you never play the same layout twice supposedly, but you have 4 slots where you can pick up a power up, like you can bounce off walls, you can jump higher. If you jump and then tap the jump up before you touch the ground, you jump up even higher than that, or you can do extra damage, and you can customize it how you want. So, but they're random. So I had a really great loadout. I got to the boss, I defeated it, and then I die right after that. so I had like 4 great power ups. Like I had more health, more everything. But it's just really fun. It looks great. It plays really well. And it's not that I'm surprised. It's just I'm just kind of surprised that I kind of kept saying, "Oh, I'll look at it later." But then it's out now. I was like, "Wow, this is really good." And it is challenging. Like I'm playing on essentially easy mode because it gets nuts. Because the thing is, when you throw the bird.
Oh, you actually throw birds? I thought he was joking.
No,
no. Like
you really throw these eagles. Like you throw it. You throw it and
like a baseball.
Sort of. The thing is, it's not like Mega Man where you just shoot, the Mega Buster and it just, you get 3 in a row or whatever, however many bullets or Contra, you just keep shooting.
Right.
The bird has to come back to you.
Okay.
So you can spam the button. It just means as soon as it comes back, you'll throw it immediately. But you have to wait. So you have to sort of think about. So what they do is if there's an enemy beneath you, you can jump down and you can hit a button. While the button you press to throw, it sort of pauses everything. And you can throw it in the direction you need to and then fall. Okay. So they gave you a way to compensate for the fact that you have to wait. So it's pretty cool. This is a weird one. A game called Lost Orbit. I think I reviewed it for Xbox One a couple of years ago. It's like a space thing where you want to make your way through the level as fast as possible, picking up different gems and power-ups, and these little planetoids you can spin around and gain speed and momentum. It's fun. I played it in handheld mode on the Switch. Okay. It seemed fun. And today I figured, I want to record it and do a Let's Play for it. So I'll sit down, get everything set up. I launch the game with my Smash Brothers, Pro Controller. Okay, fine. The game launches, and the Pro Controller shuts off.
Oh, so it does not support the Pro Controller.
Ooh.
And I didn't realize that at the time. So I'm like, why is it not? Is it a syncing thing? So I'm hitting the sync button. I'm like, what is going on? So I finally emailed somebody and said, did you know this happened? Oh, yeah, it doesn't support it. Yeah. There's nothing about this game that would preclude you from, if you can use 2 Joy-Con.
Welcome to Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu.
That doesn't make any sense.
Nothing that in handheld mode, you can use both Joy-Cons connected to the thing. Once you put it into the TV mode, you can only use 1 Joy-Con or the Pokeball controller. You cannot use any other control scheme for the Switch.
That doesn't make... Is there any reason why that limitation is there? Any technical reason why that needs to be there?
Technical, I would be willing to bet no.
But why? Who would do this?
For Pokemon, the idea is if you're doing this, with the Joy-Con or this, you could do the throw motion, and it's like throwing a Pokeball. But yeah. No.
So I got the response saying, "Oh yeah, they don't support it," and I emailed back saying, "Well, they going? There's no real reason why."
It's an artistic choice.
Yeah, I don't get it because the other games, I mentioned Xbox One, PS4. So anyway, I don't get that. Still playing Mario Maker 2. That game was great. You all play Mario Maker 2?
I haven't played the second one. I had the first one on Switch. I'm not Switch, sorry, Wii U. I had a really good time with that, but no, I haven't got the second one yet.
It's great. There's so many good levels. You fell off?
I've fallen off.
You never liked platformers the way I did. I knew it, man. Fronting on me, man.
I've been playing other stuff on my Switch.
I don't want to hear excuses.
So,
all right.
I didn't buy another Switch yet. So,
why would you?
That battery life.
It's not worth. Well, you play a lot of handheld mode, so it might be worth it. For me, it's not.
My Switch is almost exclusively in handheld mode, so
Yeah, that Switch Lite seems very promising for my usage as well. A lot of people were hating on it, but it sounds perfect for what I want to do.
I feel like I'm being attacked, Will.
So,
In the nicest way, too.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody. I get it. It wouldn't, yeah. But the battery life, that does seem appealing, but I don't know. Give me the Pro. Release the Switch Pro, finally. That's what I want.
But, like, what would a Switch Pro do?
I don't know.
Like, is it just overclock the process? Because it's not like you'd be like, and this one does 4K. None of the assets are built for it. Good job. Like, other than like, oh, it has a faster clock speed, and
if they called it the new Switch, we'd buy it, right?
Yes, we would. But that's because we have a problem.
Well,
not because it's a good product. Like, if you do that, then it goes one of two ways. Either you go what's happening on like PS4 now, where games are coming out that run real well on the PS4 Pro and not so well on the original PS4.
No.
Or you go the other way, where 3 games get released for the new 3DS that actually use the new 3DS's processor, and everything else is.
Well, I've told you the best use
one.
of the extra processing speed of the new 3DS is
for all the hacking that
is for hacking, because you can stream it. It's beautiful.
I'm glad someone's using that, because Nintendo made what? Xenoblade Chronicles,
yeah,
Hyrule Warriors, and Majora's Mask, and that's the 3 games
really?
that.
Okay.
I mean, it used the extra joystick.
The C stick nub.
Yeah, the nub.
That's not that great.
That's about it. Like, everything else runs just as well on your original 3DS. So.
Tis true. All right. What else have I been playing? Atama Chef.
I saw emails about this game, and I was very confused about its name.
It's interesting. It's almost like you're programming. Well, first of all, let me just say, I don't know if you've seen those videos of these automated restaurants in, like, San Francisco and stuff, where people can order a burger and the actual machine will, it has beef in it, and it'll cook the burger, and in 7 minutes a little window opens up and there's your food.
I went to a robot cafe last week.
There you go, the robot cafe. That's a much more succinct way of saying it. Thank you for saying that after I spent like 2 minutes.
My nephews were really impressed.
It seems kind of cool. So this game is basically about, like, hey, you need to program these machines in order to fulfill these orders and do it efficiently, do it so they're not using a lot of power or spending a lot of money, or sometimes your resource, like sometimes you want to conserve amount of resource using to make the food. So it's kind of wordy at the beginning, because it has to explain a lot to you. Press this to do this, press this to do that, because it's a necessary evil at the beginning, but it seems fun. It seems neat. So I went through 3 or 4 of the different stages where, first I'm making a plain burger, then a cheeseburger. Now I think the next level might be lettuce. You can see where this is going, Will, right?
Yes.
You look interested.
I'm trying to just picture like this game. It sounds like Cooking Mama on Wii. That's what I'm picturing. You playing Cooking Mama?
No, it's sort of like you're at like a bird's eye 3/4-ish view, and you're placing like the machines to supply the food. So if there's something that spits out buns, and then you're putting these different robotic arms that you program what they do to pick up the bun, or pick up the beef patty, put it on the grill. Another one picks it up from the grill and puts it on another part. So you're laying all that in place and then hitting the minus button, and then it goes.
Okay.
Of course, they're holding your hand because it's the beginning.
So is it Cooking Mama with and or statements?
Yes. But
okay.
I don't think, well, that's the thing. Like in Cooking Mama, you're chopping the carrots.
Well, right. Like instead, you're saying like, so if it takes 3 minutes to prepare the bun, but only 30 seconds for it to make the patty, are you doing like start bun and wait for this timer to then start patty, and then timer, so that you have like that. your ingredients ready at the same time? Yeah, and then there's another efficiency. Exactly, another aspect where you have a module that senses when something happens. It senses every time a bun comes out or burger comes out, so you don't make more than what the actual order calls for. It's not like work, but it's fun. I'm making it sound too
pardon the phrase,
You
robotic.
would really like Labo with this kind of like this
Yeah, but my wife would not like to see a bunch of cardboard sitting in the corner. That's the problem.
this is what this is what you do in Labo, but like.
So you love Labo, but you want the Switch
For
Lite.
real.
Like, you can't have both
Well,
of
no,
those
time out.
things.
I don't want the
You
Switch
have to pick
Lite.
one, man.
I want the new battery Switch.
Oh. Just get a backup battery. Boom, you're done. Problem
Okay.
solved.
But there's a new battery Switch. She
Okay.
has a new hat, Aaron. She has a new hat.
I was thinking that as well. It's perfect.
She has a new hat.
You know what? Well played. All right. I'll try to go through these quickly. I played something else called The Forbidden Arts. It's a platformer on the Switch. It's kind of janky. Like, it looks kind of rough. So the game starts off, you can only move left and right. So it's 2-dimensional with 3-dimensional, I guess, characters and environments or whatever. So, you're told, go talk to someone, so you can jump, you can slash your sword, whatever. When you get into the overworld, it becomes 3-dimensional. So it almost like blew my mind. Not that it looked great, but just because I only moved in 2 dimensions, walked outside of town, all of a sudden it's like I can go anywhere I want within reason. So that was an interesting choice. It is so janky, but it's so much fun. It feels like a prettier N64 game. I mean, that's what it feels like, and that appealed to me. And I'm like, you know what? I like this. This is not revelatory. This is not fantastic, but I like this.
Okay.
So it seems all right. I played some Robbie Swift Hands and the Orb of Mysteries on the Switch. There's a plot there. Basically, every little level, you get an orb, you throw out this glowy thing, and then the door opens up and you can escape. And then a lot of the levels have this big spike thing chasing you, and you have to platform as fast as you can to get to the end. It's fun.
So why does he have swift hands?
He's basically like some
is he a
weird.
Thief? Like,
He's a thief.
Okay.
And he's interested in treasure, and this like weird glowy spirit thing says, "Hey, if you get these 3 giant orbs, I'll be powerful and be set free. I'll make sure you get paid." And he's just thinking about treasure. So I'm assuming that, of course, this thing is evil and it's going to turn on you or whatever. But it's not about the plot. It's just about me collecting crap and killing time. So, yeah, it's nothing fancy, but it's fun. And what else here? Fantasy Strike. Have you played Fantasy Strike on Steam? That's the fighting game where you do there's no half quarter circles, none of that. Everything is like pressing a button. But there's some depth to it. It's weird. So.
What's the developer of that one?
Good question. I don't know. It's been on Steam for a while. It does have cross-play.
I think I saw a video from it of someone playing as a panda.
Yeah.
So that's about all I know about it so far.
Serlin Games? I don't know.
I don't know who that is either.
Yeah. It's fun. It's sort of just, it has strategy to it. Obviously not the largest move set, because if you're taking away the quarter circles and the charge move, things like that, it sort of brings it down to a more basic level in terms of inputs. But you have to really be mindful of your opponent's movements. It's pretty fun. Played some more Asura's Wrath. I love that game.
Yeah, I saw that on the list. I was hoping you would elaborate on that, man. That's one I was looking for at TMG. I didn't find. Like, how is that? Like, I'm guessing you love it, so it's good. So it's like a Bayonetta style, like beat 'em up, or?
No, Bayonetta has much more technique to it. Asura's Wrath is like
an animated FMV game.
Pretty much. like
hit the button a lot right now.
Hit B a whole lot, or you're spamming buttons like this. I mean, I don't say there's no skill to it, but
is it quick time events like in God of War type of thing when you're fighting a boss? You like triangle now. Okay.
Yes, but the awesome part is like one of the first bosses you fight. Like, you're fighting him, and then you start beating him up. So he decides to call in the cavalry, and he evokes whatever power that makes him. Basically, he becomes like bigger than the planet that you were on fighting him. Okay. He takes his single finger and tries to crush you, from being in outer space, and you basically punch his index finger so much with so much ferocity that you make him explode.
Okay, so it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it is
100%.
dope. Like it is just like it's insane. It's nuts.
Okay.
Like imagine getting so mad that like you grow 4 more arms and you punch so much till they all shatter. Like,
Oh my gosh.
a normal day, right? I mean, just...
I might have to look a little harder for this game because it's been on my radar. When I first saw it, I was like, is that a Kuma on the cover? Obviously, it's not, but I watched some quick videos of it. I was like, this looks pretty exciting. So, and your description here, you sold me. So I might need to go track one down.
I mean, I'm assuming you only want the physical copy of.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, you can probably get one for like $5 or $10 at GameStop.
I think the actual game was on sale last. It's on sale pretty frequently on, on Microsoft.
On the Xbox.
Yeah. The only thing about it is this is the shadiness of. Was it more last generation and less this one of selling the actual ending of the game as DLC?
Oh,
It commits that sin. So I don't think there actually is a like game of the year. I don't think there's an actual physical release of that game that has all the content.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to get the DLC separately.
that's Capcom.
Yeah. But that was on sale too, so I'm a sucker. So I have the disc, but I was like, I don't want to find that. I just want to launch it. So
I mean, it's nice that it's backwards compatible on the Xbox One.
Oh, is it?
they got my letter. I was
That
begging
is
for
why
this game.
Aaron's been begging for this for years.
Like 3 years, like please. And I think it was like the final batch.
It was in the last announcement, yeah.
Yep. And I was
And
like,
they gave away
finally.
2 human as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, and Kingdoms of
'cause you can't
Amalur
sell
is
that.
also backward compatible, which is nice. So, last thing I play is I still play a bunch of Mystic Vale because I just love that game. And Mike J, I put him onto it, and he actually beat me the first match. I was a little bit upset because I played that game a lot. But I guess that just means I'm really a good teacher because I taught him so well. He defeated me.
Take your win where you can.
Exactly.
Where you can get
And then we played 2 more and I won, but like barely. Like they were nail biters. But yeah. So that's a card crafting, deck building game, and I really love those now. So yeah. So Mystic Vale. Anybody? Bueller? Okay.
You were playing the digital version with Mike J, right?
Yeah, but I actually did get in the expansion. Well, there's like 5 of the analog expansions, but I got the one that extends it to 5 and 6 players. So I look forward to inflicting that pain on loved ones in person. That's what life is really all about. So I've talked enough. That's it for me.
Okay. I will be quick because I've only really played 2 things this week.
2 things.
So I started Final Fantasy 12 on the Switch. I don't know why I started it because there are 2 other games coming out the same week or within a week of each other. But like the port's very nice. Like it's based on the PS4 port, the upres one. So it's been great to see, and I've been slowly playing through that. And then Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3: The Black Order came out on Friday, and I've been playing that nonstop, and I beat that game. It's like a 10-ish hour game, like to get through the main story, let's call it.
Worth $50?
I think it is. I will say this. I got to the second to last boss, and after a day and a half of beating my head against the wall on it, I lowered the difficulty and kicked its ass. So I was annoyed that I was that close to the end, and at this point I just hit a wall that I could get him down to the low enough health, but I couldn't just seal the deal. So I'm sorry, I'm looking at the chat. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of fun. If you played the other Ultimate Alliance games, it's the same idea. It's a beat 'em up, 4 players. Now that there's a leveling system tied to the characters, it's how much you play the character they level up. Mm-hmm. So characters that get neglected at the beginning of the game, so like Guardians are the first characters you play in that game. If you stop playing with them, they'll always be at level 4 or 5, and they are not viable for endgame at that point. So you have to. You're essentially building a team that you want to play with. One of the weird, I guess, positives, if you bought the season pass, it unlocks Deadpool from the start. He unlocks about halfway through the story, but he unlocks at level 21, so he is a great like bruiser through that early game because he's just beating the stuff out of things. So I mean, if you enjoyed the original Marvel Ultimate Alliances or like Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance or any of those X-Men Legends, like this is definitely a game I think you should check out. It's just that level spike at the end really messed me up.
Can you go back and grind like retroactively, like level your character up again through earlier levels?
You can. So there's two ways to do it. In the game you're finding these things called rifts, and there's 4 of them: Lambda, Delta, whatever. And essentially they are in a section called Infinity, and you can go into there and they have like, oh hey, pick your team. You start off with 30 seconds. Every enemy you defeat adds 10 seconds to the clock. You have to make it to the end of this level. And let's say all the enemies in there are level 7. So cool, take some characters in. You can play through that. At the end, you'll unlock the equipable items, which are called ISOs. They're elements inside the game. Then you have Infinity Cubes, which are where you get XP from. And you might get a costume for your characters, depending on what the challenges and whatnot. And there are probably 100 to 150 of those challenges. So you can grind through those to get experience for your lower level characters. Or you can go back through the game and play just through the story mode. They're fun-ish. Like it's still, and it could just be because I just played through the whole game. They're still in the same settings of the regular game. So I don't, and that I know so the expansion pass, the DLC pass, there are 3 content drops coming for it. One is based on Marvel Knights, which means they'll probably add like the Punisher in, because Elektra, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, everyone else that's like a street level hero inside Marvel who are in the Marvel Knights imprint are already in the game. So it'll probably be the Punisher. Then there's a Fantastic Four one that's supposed to be coming, and an X-Men one that's supposed to be coming. In addition, Cyclops and Colossus are coming free to the game, but that's because they're already in the game as like their model's already built and whatnot. They just need to essentially make it a playable character. So part of me doesn't want to go back through and grind that stuff out without those characters, because I I'm a fan of the Fantastic Four, and I think Colossus is a great character. So I'll probably wait until they're out to do that again. Scoop, no Howard the Duck. Also, no Squirrel Girl. I know people keep asking about that one. But there's something like 35 characters in this game, ranging across both like Marvel Cinematic Universe characters. So like all the Guardians are there, but Groot and Rocket Raccoon are one character. To like Ms. Marvel, which is Kamala Khan, versus Miss Marvel, which is Carol Danvers from the movie, to like a bunch of spider people that aren't anywhere. And like, yeah, I mean, I was surprised at how many X-Men are in this game, because this game was made during Marvel's Who Are the X-Men? We don't own the rights, so we don't talk about them. So like, but my final group in the game was Nightcrawler, Psylocke, Deadpool, and Storm. And I had Black Panther in there at one point, but I traded him out for Deadpool because I needed someone with more long range attacks, and Black Panther is not that character. So it's real interesting how much X-Men is in this game. I was very surprised because
with the success of the Dark Phoenix movie, it just made sense, right?
Well,
everybody wanted to see that.
That's exactly it. Like how much X-Men have been on like Marvel's shit list. Like it's just, it's like I'm shocked that this game got made with all. Like think about it from a perspective of Wolverine's not in the latest Marvel vs. Capcom game, Marvel Infinite. Like that's crazy. Like he is a core character of that game. I don't like that's how much they disliked him. So, but anyway, it's pretty cool. There are some unlockable characters I still need to go back through, but you have to go through those rifts and essentially beat all of the challenges to unlock the last 4 characters, which are like, yeah, I'm not gonna spoil them, but anyway, I was thinking about it.
Sorry, I was gonna say, does it play well in handheld mode? Because you mentioned you played a lot in handheld mode.
Oh, that's all I played in. Like, I think it plays great. they are a big fan of their particle systems. So when you're doing your superpowers, which in the old games and in this game, you hold down a bumper and your face buttons become your super, like storm, throw a lightning bolt, or throw down hail or whatnot. If you have all 4 characters and you hit L and R at the same time, they'll do a extreme alliance move, which is them essentially doing, each of them doing powerful superhero attacks at the same time. And like, there are points where between that and then the enemy particle systems can start bringing the system to a crawl. It is very rare, and like, it's just so much stuff is on the screen at that point. It was, but I think I played through it almost exclusively, like I said, in handheld mode. I will say my hands started to like cramp because you're holding the thing like you're using both of your fingers on top to like hit the L and R and Z, whatever they call them on the Switch, but ZL, ZR, L and R. And then at the same time, you're trying to hit the face buttons, but then you can't really control the camera. But there is an alternate camera system in this game that, like, the only reason you'd know is if you've been on Twitter or like you watched a review. So for the longest time, I didn't think there was a lock-on system in this game. And it turns out if you change the camera from classic to heroic, you can actually have it. You hit the right or the right stick down, and that'll lock on to the most powerful character on screen, the most powerful enemy. Which is weird that that's not on by default. So, Scoop asked, what playable villains are there? So Venom's definitely in there. Venom.
No Carnage?
He is not. Nah, they don't even mention Cletus. Though, on a weird side note, Cletus Cassidy, so Carnage, just ate Captain Marvel's cat in the comics. I was reading an article the other day about that. So that's weird. Elektra's been a villain in the past.
Like a regular Elektra or Skrull Elektra?
Regular Elektra.
Gotcha.
The final villain of the Infinity Gauntlet might be an unlockable character in this game. So
I was gonna ask that. Yeah. Howard the Duck, Squirrel Girl. You know?
No, not. They don't go that like. Deadpool is the quirkiest of the characters they bring in. Guardians also are kind of quirky at points too, but like Deadpool, his alternate costume is him in his yellow trainee X-Men suit that you kind of see in Deadpool 2, but he's also wearing a chef's outfit on top of that. And that's because in the game he gets introduced making tacos for Taco Tuesday at the Xavier Mansion.
I thought he liked chimichangas.
That's really weird. Like there's a whole like storyline about Taco Tuesday in this game. It's weird at points.
Yeah, Taco Tuesday is a thing. Yeah.
So I mean, I've been enjoying it. I know a lot of people find it weird that Nintendo decided to bring this out a week before they have Fire Emblem coming out. So like, people have a limited amount of money to spend. They have to make a choice. But like, if you're a fan of Marvel or of these like 4-player dungeon crawlers, like it's been a lot of fun. Even if I am annoyed that I had to drop the difficulty.
They should put Man-Thing in there too.
See, he could come from Marvel, weirdly come from Marvel Knights, but anyway. Go for it, Will, sorry.
I was going to say, is Nolan North Deadpool's voice like he is in the games?
I am almost certain it is Nolan North.
Okay. That's very important. He did a fantastic job in the Deadpool game, so.
So I was listening to that, and man, he does the gun noises, like, whatever. Oh, God, what's the laser noise that PlayStation had done? But anyway, he does, and he also does like bang, bang, bang. So much as his character's on screen. Like, please shut up. But I guess that's Deadpool. Scoop, I mean, I think Fire Emblem and Marvel Ultimate Alliance probably don't have a huge overlap on the Venn diagram of audiences.
But somewhat, I mean, yeah.
I'm going to say people that enjoy Nintendo titles. Like, the funny thing is I keep hearing people like, I'll just wait for this to go multi-platform. And I don't see how that's going to happen since
Not if
Nintendo published this game.
Yeah, might not.
So, like, yes, there is the rare example where, like, Mass Effect, originally published by Microsoft, then got republished by EA on PS3. But that is most definitely the exception, not the rule.
True.
So I think it's a fun game. I've been enjoying the heck out of it.
You should hit up Phil Spencer. We can maybe ask him to do the Microsoft Man-Thing edition of this game. Where you can have 4 man-things on screen. They move very slowly and secrete an acid that burns people who are afraid.
Oh yeah, well anyway. So here's that's the weird thing though, right? Because Ninja Theory is who made this game with Koei Tecmo. But now Ninja Theory is owned by Microsoft. So,
I think I just saw the future. The Man-Thing edition is coming. So get ready.
Microsoft bought Minecraft and then published it. Microsoft did not originally publish. Sorry, Scoop Moose mentioned Microsoft published Minecraft. Yes. If Microsoft goes and buys Nintendo, they could probably republish Nintendo software on Microsoft's platforms. But until that happens,
finally get that Waluigi Master Chief crossover we've all been gunning for. That's what it's all about.
So yeah, it's definitely, I think it's a game to check out if you enjoy, like I said, the dungeon crawlers or Marvel content. Like being able to play through this is still a lot of fun. I think it's definitely a step of improvement from Ultimate Alliance 2, because I remember playing that game when it came out and not enjoying it.
It's not as good as the first one.
It was made by Vicarious Vision, which they do some great work, but they also do some really crappy work. But it was also based around the Civil War storyline in the comics. Mm-hmm. So you're like, oh, Captain America and Iron Man can't play together because they hate each other. And this is the dumbest, like, that's a dumb storyline to begin with. And the whole game is based on that. So I remember me and my coworkers all bought copies when it came out, and I think most people returned it within 48 hours. It just wasn't the same as the first game, which was great on the original 360. That's Ultimate Alliance 3. You should go check it out. Like if you like superheroes and whatnot, which actually I forgot to mention, The Boys comes out on Amazon on Friday, which is going to be, hey, what if superheroes were assholes? And who has to keep them in check? So, but yeah.
Brightburn does. That's the answer, right?
Oh no, Brightburn's a whole different thing. What if Superman was evil? But like this,
the slasher movie, pretty much from what I saw. So.
Yeah, the Boys is. Yeah, what if superheroes were just degenerates? And like, who watches The Watchmen? There has to be a group to keep them in check, and that's who The Boys are. Which it comes out on Amazon, I think, on Friday. So I'm interested to see how far they go. Because in the comics, it is real disturbing. And I think we've talked about this before, but in the comics, the superheroes all have like, oh, hey, there's a cosmic threat. We need to leave the Earth to go face it. And it turns out all the superheroes are just going to like a tropical island and having an orgy. So yeah, like that's the kind of stuff you'll see in The Boys. So we'll see. Anyway, I see that Mike joined us and hasn't said anything.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Mike.
Okay, because I was on mute for a little while without realizing it, but that's fine. Real quick, Tiny, one slight but important correction. Ultimate Alliance 3 was not produced by Ninja Theory, not developed by Ninja Theory, but Team Ninja. So Ninja Theory is who is owned by Microsoft. Team Ninja is
right.
Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive fame mostly, which was had always had like a partnership with Tecmo, which is now Koei Tecmo. So just something. It's like, yeah, it's really not as weird as you thought when you were describing it.
Well,
the relationship aspect of it.
Well, so what's weird is I was thinking it was Ninja Theory because of what they did in Disney Infinity.
There's some of the combat.
Well, they did some of the
did.
combat in 2, and then in 3 they did the whole animation system for it. So I, for some reason, thought that this was for some reason tied into that, but no, you're 100% right. It was Team Ninja.
And now John Vignacchi works for Disney, who's ramping up their game stuff again. Even aren't they?
No, Tim Drake.
No,
Vignacchi used to work for Disney.
No, he works for Nintendo. You're right.
Yeah, Vignacchi worked on Disney Infinity because I reached out to him anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
About stuff when I was working with Disney. So yeah, and now Drake.
Yeah, you're right.
I want to say Robert Drake, but that's Iceman.
John Drake.
John Drake. There you go. So.
Bobby Drake. Here we go.
Bobby Drake. Yeah, that's who I was like. Yeah, no, it's totally gonna be.
But it's weird that don't they go through cycles where like, hey, games are important to us. Let's ramp this up, and then they fire everybody, and
then they literally fire everyone.
Yep.
It's a terrible process that they do, and they're like, hey, we'll license everything out to. Oh god, they just changed. Who made? I forget. It used to be EA had all the licensing, and then they divided mobile versus like console.
Yeah.
And mobile went to, was it King? It might have gone to King. Candy Crush people. Even though like they also do a lot with like Netmarble and a bunch of other pieces. And then EA still holds the console rights as of today.
Speaking of Star Wars, I got an email from Limited Run. They're now selling.
What is with that?
They're like selling the Hyperkin. I mean, well, it's just closure. Don't listen to this part. They're selling the the not very well reviewed N64 HDMI cable, but they're also selling the Super Eon.
Oh, I heard about that thing.
Yeah. So, but I kept scrolling down. They're repackaging Shadows of the Empire.
This is the one.
And a purple cartridge for the N64, but it comes in like the old like action figure package that old Star Wars toys came in. So that seems interesting.
I don't understand why, like, when Limited Run does other things, it's because, like, oh, hey, this didn't get a physical release or whatever. But, like, there are millions of copies of Shadows of the Empire on the N64 out there in the world.
Are they
like,
purple?
Why re-release this?
What are they charging for it? Is like the $100 they charge for the Street Fighter 2?
It's at least, I'll look it up right now.
There are two versions.
Like
there's the one that just comes card back, which Aaron is seeing. And then there's a collector's one that comes with like a pin and a bunch, and it was $89.99 is what I saw them say on their Facebook.
Yeah, card only is $45.99. Premium is $90, so you just double it.
This is a $3 game. That's
exactly like why and it's
not put a price on nostalgia. Will
it's not even tough to find Shadows of the Empire like
all.
Yeah,
the chair I'm sitting in is made out of Shadows of the Empire cartridges.
It has to be one of the highest selling games on the N64.
Yeah, it was up there.
Yeah, it was in the million sellers. One of those re-release bargain titles they did near the end. I mean, it's a great time. I had it when I was younger, but I don't know if I'm paying $90 for it now.
Not agree, and not only that, it is far surpassed by Rogue Squadron. No one wants to play the on-foot levels. All you want to do is like tie up the AT-ATs with the snow speeder at the beginning of that. Like, Rogue Squadron has it right there.
Yeah, I don't want to find Luke chasing and racing against the Swoop gang.
The Swoop gang, or you're fighting Boba Fett in his ship, like, or you're trying to platform in a very poor platform.
You're fighting IG-88 in a junkyard. You can barely see him.
So Game Vet, those are our quick thoughts on Shadows of the Empire.
Some of the levels were fun. One thing I like is they give you so many camera options, which is kind of cool.
They were like, what can we do with these C buttons? Oh, I know. Every one of them you hit gives you a different camera angle.
I mean, I own it. I played it. I haven't made it very far. I don't think I might have beaten. No, I got up to. You fight Boba Fett twice, right?
Yep.
I got up to the part where you actually fight him.
Yeah, not inside.
In that the big cylinder thing, but I died. And...
Yeah, I'm convinced that I beat that game back in the day, but I remember.
I'm not convinced of that.
Nothing.
I mean, the PC version is real nice too if you can get it running. The problem is that, like, even with GOG, it is a tough game to get running on machines. So,
Agreed.
But yeah,
Mike, you want to go through the stuff that you played?
Mike, have you played anything?
I completed Castlevania 4 on the Castlevania collection.
Just a remake. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I mean, really, I played through the Japanese version, which I think I'd probably done before through an emulator. The notable differences are a cross on the gravestone in the beginning, the difference in language, the sound that the whip makes, and whether the liquid in that level where you fight Frankenstein's monster as the boss is green slime or red blood. So in the Japanese version, it's red. Other than that, it is exactly the same game, as far as I know.
I mean, hey, I'm glad you're getting the value out of that Castlevania collection.
Yeah, I mean, they'll do things when I can do things. But thanks, Kat. That was amazing. So anyway, I haven't played a whole lot of other stuff outside of the usual, online multiplayer things.
Rocket League, Titanfall.
Yeah.
Titanfall.
Yeah, actually, I haven't played Titanfall in a while. It's mostly just Rocket League and
the Bubsy 3D MMO. No, that's cool. No worries.
Did you get a chance to check out the Kid Dracula on that Castlevania collection?
I did shortly, not a whole lot. Like went through like one level.
I always wanted that game.
It's actually there's less to it than I expected, at least initially. I don't know what I was expecting for a Famicom title, but yeah, I mean, I expect to play through every game on the whole thing eventually through the magic of save states. Without it, I would have been like, you know what? I don't care.
I'm done with this.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not.
GameVit wants to know, Mike, the best Castlevania game of all time to you.
Oh God, I wish that was easy.
Lords of Shadow.
2.
Honestly, I'd say I have replayed Castlevania 4.
I just figured
Will just answer the question.
Will got real upset about the question and just walked away.
To get real for a sec here, this guy right here.
Yeah. I mean, that is undeniably one of the top. And I mean, that was the reason I got as deep as I did into the TurboGrafx / PC Engine ecosystem. When I saw that game, it blew my mind. I was at a local used video game store, and one of the guys who worked there, when I walked in one day, he was just like, "Oh man, a buddy of mine just sold me all this stuff," and he hooked up his Turbo Duo and started playing that game, and I was just like, how do I get this? And I worked my way there and eventually did. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if there's any Castlevania game whose music I like better than Dracula X, but yeah, 4, I played through it so many times. It's just
I've never beaten 4. I never had it, even when I was playing a lot of Super Nintendo back in the day.
I mean, it's pretty accessible. It is not like, even without save states, it's a very completable game.
More so than the original.
Way more so. Like, Dracula is kind of a cakewalk at the end. He doesn't have a gigantic beastly form like he does in every other Castlevania game. But it's I do like the music in it too, but it's the whip system in it is just so unique. No other Castlevania game did anything quite like that.
I know this is probably horrible to say, but to me, like, the single greatest piece of music out of any Castlevania game is the intro on Castlevania 64.
64 with the kid playing the violin.
That is the best music of all of, like.
But that's an adaptation from the first level of Dracula X.
Okay, so
it's the same song. It's just much slower, and yeah, but that's cool. I totally dig that.
I first got that game from my man Travis. He knew a guy named Blockbuster. They called him Blockbuster because he would sell you stuff that he got from Blockbuster. So I popped that cartridge and I was like, That's beautiful, man. I'm not crying. You're crying. That's crazy.
Are those tears of blood? No.
Yes.
Tears of joy. So GameVet also says what? No Symphony of the Night? Question mark? Exclamation mark? Question mark? Exclamation mark? Question mark?
I mean, it's a cool
3.
game. I doubt there's been a better Castlevania. Even if I replayed all of them again, I don't think any of them I would enjoy of that style. I would have enjoy as much as Symphony of the Night.
Dawn of Sorrow. I put so much time into Dawn of Sorrow on the DS, man.
I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest. Aria of Sorrow and Dawn of Sorrow, I couldn't tell you much difference between the two of them. I know one was GBA and one was DS, but honestly, I don't know. They both used, as far as I can recall, a system where you like steal abilities or whatever from your, the enemy opponents. But I mean, they're all good. They're all good.
What about Harmony of Distance?
Harmony, I think, was the weaker of the group.
Wait a minute, which one was that? That was the other Game Boy one?
It was the second GBA title.
Oh wait, no. What's the one that's on Xbox?
Oh, that was Harmony of Despair.
Despair. I knew it was HD.
That's an appropriate name.
I didn't play much of that. But I would, like, if
I still own it. If people want to play it, I'll play it.
It is not a single player game.
No.
I've tried that.
Isn't it backwards compatible?
Oh, it is. I played it a couple of months ago and lost immediately, but
yeah. Mostly when I played, it was, you join up in a group, everybody else knows exactly what they're doing. They've killed the boss before I've picked up 10% of what I'm doing. So it's a flawed game, but it was an interesting idea.
Yeah, the other GBA
better
was
than Judgment.
Circle of the Moon.
Oh God, Judgment.
Circle of the Moon was good, but incredibly difficult. You had to grind a lot. The only way I was able to beat Dracula in the end was spamming the hell out of the cross, and the I forget what it's called, but the move where you jump like super high. Without those abilities, I don't think I ever would have finished.
Yeah, win's a win.
Game.
Yeah, man, take it and run. All right, so Will, what's your second favorite Castlevania after Rondo of Blood?
Me, Bloodlines. It's a pretty good one.
Oh, the Genesis one. Yeah.
I like
that was
Bloodlines
with Trevor. Was that? Well, no, it wasn't Trevor. Who was that? John something.
John
Morris.
John Morris.
He looked like an NFL linebacker.
And Lecard. Yeah, they had the pole vault.
Jean or something.
John was one of them, yeah. And Eric Lecard was the other one.
Eric Lecard, yeah.
Yeah. And John Morris, yeah.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
The lore that I always thought was really cool, because that's when they're finally like, all right, we're really going to go hard and heavy on tying this into the Bram Stoker novel. It's like, yeah, all right. It's an interesting idea.
My name is Keanu Winona. Yeah, I saw a speed run of that, and somebody was using Eric Lecard, the spear, the trident, or whatever, because you can jump straight up.
Yeah,
just to skip like huge sections of that game. So,
there's parts in the game where it's designed that way, where it's like if you're John, you can swing over a thing, but if you're Eric, you can jump up to the ledge that he can't get to. So it's sort of branching paths in a way, but I don't know. If I'm playing as a non-vampiric kind of a character in Castlevania and there's a whip option, I'm going with the whip.
Yeah. I tried to get into I've started Lord of Shadows several times and I always fall off of it.
Yep.
Because it's just, I don't know. It looked good.
Like Tron Horse.
That was cool. It looked all right.
Did you play the 3DS one? The 2D?
Oh, the Mercury Steam one?
Yeah.
No. Was that
Fate?
Mirror Fate, yeah, that one.
Well, Mercury Steam's the developer.
Yeah, I did play it. There were some things I liked about it, but it never felt as good as the others.
Of course.
But it wasn't horrible.
I mean, I watched some spoilerific YouTube videos of that, 3-game series. between the Lords of Shadow 1 and 2, Mirror of Fate, and it was like, man, did they take these characters in some really dark directions as far as, you know, what happens to everybody.
Well, the Netflix show was great, so
It's true.
looking forward to season 3.
GameVet's asking why Castlevania 3 held in such high regard. He kind of hated that game.
2 words: branching paths.
Oh, I mean, there's so many options with it. I mean, Grant, the character that can walk on walls and ceilings and stuff, it was so janky. And like it sticking to a ceiling, I felt like I've never put that much pressure on a D-pad in my life to try to get around a corner. But it can work, and it's really amazing what they did with it. But I don't think I've ever actually beaten that game. I might have with a Game Genie once or something, but yeah, I mean that is on my list, and I will happily play through that game on this collection at some point in time.
Are all of the Game Boy games on the collection? There's
Yes,
3.
No, I'm sorry. Legends is not. That is retconned officially anyway. But 1 and 2 are on there.
Belmont's Revenge is fantastic. I love the soundtrack for Belmont's Revenge.
Yeah.
And the game plays very well too.
That's the second one, right?
Yeah.
Right.
First one was kind of a mess.
When it came out, it was great though, man. I was like 10. It was like this is it right here.
You can play this on the go.
It's you know, not only is that game, you know, poorly optimized, or like they try to do, like, it's just, there's a lot of flicker, there's incredible slowdown and everything, but that final boss is so ridiculous. Like once with save states, I was able to get the pattern down where I can get through it without even getting hit. But I don't know how you would ever figure that out when you're like, oh, I got here and it took me 87 tries to finally kill. Oh, wait a minute. There's this other thing that's super fast and ridiculous, and I only get one chance because you drained all my life. And as soon as you touch me one time, it's like, okay, all right. But I eventually figured it out through the magic of save states. And then, of course, they're like, oh, just start the game over again. And we're calling this, it wasn't stage, it was like chapter 5 or whatever. Like, no, this is the beginning of the game again. Stop that.
No.
Right. Okay, we all agree that the worst one is Haunted Castle. Is that's the worst, right?
Oh, that is brutal.
I mean, it depends on what we're including, because Castlevania Judgment on the Wii.
I mean, that's more playable than Haunted Castle. To me, it was.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, but yeah,
because it's more playable. Do you want to play it?
If you ask me right now, if I had to choose between the two of those, I would pick Judgment over Haunted Castle.
Okay,
but I'm a fool, so there we are. Will, your thoughts on Judgment?
I mean, Judgment was so ridiculous. That's the fighting game on Wii, right?
That's it.
Yeah, that's not what I was expecting when I picked the back of that box and can't say I purchased it. But what's Haunted Castle? Where is that from?
That's like the OG one.
Oh,
right?
The arcade
one. The arcade Castlevania.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the game called How Many Quarters Can We Take Out of Your Pocket? Starting with stage 1.
Yeah, have that on a RetroPie. Yeah, that's not a good game.
No, it's not. It came a long way.
I think I'd rather play Judgment than that as well there. So I'm on your team for that one.
See, Will sided with me. And Will gets 2 votes because he's a guest. We win.
I bought Haunted Castle through what's it called? ACA PlayStation Network, hamster.
Oh, the hamster release.
Version. Judgment I got rid of. So,
that says a lot.
But I would also, like, if I saw Judgment on a shelf for like $5, I've seen it for 10 and I passed, but if I saw it for $5, I'd just be like, whatever, throw it.
I got it from GameStop for like $7 or something like that.
Hey, I got that through Goozex.
Wow.
And I sent that thing on its merry way.
So, Will, do you know what Goozex is?
Is that sort of like the mail order?
Yep, it's the trading. Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really know them. You guys were more friendly with the guys who actually used to run that.
The Mark and John, I think their names were.
Yeah, they were University of Maryland graduates.
Yeah.
They started that thing, and our buddy Nitro was like the most active user
Oh
on it
yeah,
because he was trading
he was
anime.
just collecting stuff solely for the purpose of sending it out.
But that's exactly what, like, I mean, it's the same reason why he's also the guy that owns a large percentage of Steam games.
He has like, what, 6,000 Steam games?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, not because he's ever going to play them, but because he treats Steam like Pokemon.
Yep.
And he must collect them all.
That's right.
So I'm going to his page right now to see.
He has at least 5,000.
Oh, yeah. No, he was definitely, he was 6,200. No, that's XP. 6,022 games.
That's a lot.
On Steam. Makes me feel better about myself with only having like 1,000. So.
Oh, so you have more than me. I have 711 Steam games.
I just stopped buying games altogether, and
I don't really buy them anymore.
And what Aaron's saying is he gets sent so many games. He's just so popular.
I didn't say that.
Okay, so actually, my Steam library is 769. So
well, because you're within 100, I gotta start buying stuff now. All right, to the store.
I don't want to look.
So I mean, I can go look at yours too. But anyway, yeah, Nitro just makes me feel better about myself. So that's that. And I'm good with that. When people think I have a large library, like, let me tell you about this guy. So, and then I don't feel that bad. So.
Yeah, kind of like when you're doing 80 on the highway, but somebody is doing 95 in front of you.
You always have to have a rabbit. Someone,
right?
You need.
Be like, officer, don't
someone else to be chased.
The guy that you didn't pull over, that's probably 3 states away, was going faster.
So,
if you hurry now, you can catch him.
Yeah, you don't have to be the fastest. The second fastest. That's fine.
Sure.
Like, why am I not seeing you on my Steam list? I don't know. Right. Anyway, not important.
Well, we wrap up. All right, Will, shout outs, plugs, all those good things.
So like I was saying, I don't really have like my face out there. So if anything, I'd post stuff on Instagram. It's Watts WC _VG for video games to differentiate it from my personal one, which I ended up deleting because all I wanted to talk about was my games on there. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got in terms of social media, other than Twitter, which you tagged me in. So
all right, cool. Well, thank you for joining us, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's great. It's been a while since I've podcasted. It's always great to talk about games and stuff, and good time.
Indeed. Mike.
I, of course, as always, encourage folks to who are eligible to donate blood, and for those who have pets, to have them spayed or neutered. And just as a really quick thing, because I wasn't here to tell you this, the brief summary is one big reason why I'm so late and didn't participate in the show is because I accidentally threw my phone in a dumpster, and I didn't realize that for over an hour. And trying to figure out where in the hell my phone was an incredible ordeal today. After a long
so many questions.
I have they're just
it was the dumpster at work.
Okay.
It wasn't full.
Okay. Were you thrown into said dumpster? Is that why your phone fell out of your pocket?
Is this like a never-ending story thing? Is that?
I was throwing stuff away. I didn't realize I had my phone in my. It was stupid. I don't really like. If I remember doing it, I never would have done it in the first place.
So
but I had a bag of trash from my car, and somehow my phone was in my hands with the bag of trash, and I hurled it in. Didn't realize it, and then I was halfway home, and I realized, where's my phone? And then I had to drive back to work to get it. It wasn't there, and I turned the place upside down looking for it, and find my phone, said, hey, your phone's right here. Where's that? Doesn't ring when I call it. Doesn't make any noise when I ping it. Turns out because it's outside in the dumpster.
That is quite the interesting. Is that like, that's like the story you tell after the dog ate my homework kind of thing. That's.
I mean, honestly, I have that
short version of it.
I have that paranoia, like, that I'm gonna accidentally do that with my wallet and whatnot. Like, oh, where's my wallet? Did I put it? Did I?
Yeah, because you can't find my iWallet or whatever.
Not yet.
Well, yeah, you can set that up.
So,
But anyway, that's it. No more questions.
That's all you're admitting to.
I'll be taking no more
done.
questions. Well, just to cover this, Mike has 392 games on Steam. So
That's too many.
Well, how many Steam
that
games?
Is more
you have?
games than I thought you.
I need to get rid of some. Would you like to buy some?
I'm at like 150, maybe 200. Played a lot of Counter-Strike when I was younger, so I kind of stayed around the first-person shooters.
Okay.
I'm honestly surprised by how many games you have, Mike.
Me too. I don't know. I don't play any of them.
It's a good thing you have them then.
That was never the question.
Right?
So, I'm just
I actually bought Garfield Kart today. I saw that was on sale for $1. Who doesn't want to play Garfield Kart? So.
I think I got suckered into buying that too. Let me check.
Let me navigate to Steam and see.
Yep, I have it. I bought it the last time it was on sale.
You gotta have Garfield Kart.
Wait a minute. Does this have online multiplayer?
it's $1.49 right now. I don't know.
Oh, that's too. You said $1. I mean, come on.
Hey, it has very positive reviews. That much I can say. In terms of multiplayer, why don't I see?
I will say that
no,
I was going through
single player.
I was going through the Switch store right now, and there are games that are 9 cents right now. Like, why?
Because there's 7 trillion
Waiting
games for the Switch, and they got to stand out somehow.
So, like, you could buy multiple games for less than $1. Like, you couldn't do the credit card transaction for it. You just need to put that onto your account. So,
Oh yeah, if you buy that game, they're losing money.
That is
Like
true.
almost guaranteed.
That makes me question everything. GameVet just said, "Wow, the House of Gersman Garfield cast." Oh yes, he just had a kid.
He did.
I didn't know that he was expecting a child at all.
There was no lead up to it. It's
None.
Just like,
It's like, oh yeah, Jeff will be here
because
he's having a child. He and his wife are having a
I
baby.
mean, it's no different than when they were getting married or whatnot.
Yep,
Like,
he just sprung it on like, "Hey, I'm married."
He treats it he keeps that part of his life separate.
And I respect that.
Oh no, that's
fully.
fine. Like he didn't. Nobody had to mention it at all.
It's not my business. So yeah.
Well,
But it's just like-
he also put up on Twitter that he had a baby. That's why I think.
I didn't know. Okay, I didn't see that. So I was.
Like they didn't put any picture. He's like, "Hey, we did something this weekend. Had a kid." Like,
I mean,
okay.
he's been
sure,
a public figure for a while, so I understand keeping things.
Yeah, and
that's healthy.
if you want to be like super safe and don't mention anything until it's part of history, then it's totally true. You can't, you're not taking any chances or anything.
So now the real question though is he, when he does the like streams from home, he's gonna like
he might not be doing that for a while.
That's the question.
So
or is it gonna be like the kid on his chest and he's like, let's talk about Mr. Games.
I played a lot of games like that.
A lot of my friends did.
It's good times, man.
I'm all very happy that you guys have continued the human race. Keep it up.
Okay. Well, no, I'm done, but I've done my part.
I'm not. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And back on topic, there's no way I'm paying for Garfield Kart. This looks terrible.
Come on, man.
I don't care how positive these reviews
Stimulate
are.
the economy. What's wrong
What
with
in
you?
the world is this game?
It's a kart racer. What is it?
Why did this get released 6 years ago?
It's on 3DS too, if you want it physical.
It's probably rare too, right?
Oh, a physical copy for $1.49? Maybe. Because I could put it on the table in a couple of months.
At our game swap that we're going to.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, who wants to pay more than that for this?
We're doubling our prices. Why are you walking away? All right. All right, well, I'll do my stuff real quick. Will, thank you once again for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
It has been a pleasure, sir. Shout out to GameVet and Scoop Moose and all the folks who jumped into the chat. We appreciate it. Shout out to Mike from DC for leaving the voicemail. If you want to be like Mike, you can also send your own voicemail to 202 573-7686, or you can just email us at podcast@GameEnthus.com. And yeah, Tiny.
Hey, it's July. It's the end of July.
It is.
Have you signed up to raise money for your local Children's Miracle Network Hospital via Extra Life at extra-life.org? And if you have signed up, have you started getting asking for donations? So Luckily, in the last week, I've been able to raise about $500. And I encourage everyone else, reach out to your friends and family. Like, they want to help.
Fantastic.
They want to help. So, and 100% of what they donate goes directly to the children's hospital you choose. So go to extra-life.org and sign up. Or, hey, go to the link at the top or extra-life.org/team/GameEnthus and donate to your favorite personality. I've crossed the $1,000 mark, so I'm good for other people to get donations.
Oh, I got mine. So
I have my medal now.
Okay.
So now it's just victory laps.
Gotcha.
So, my goal is still $5,000 to raise this year. So,
I'll be at Otakon this weekend doing
Good
signups
stuff.
on Friday from 3 to 9. So stop by.
we will be at speaking of events, we'll be at New Jersey GamerCon this weekend, with the Completionist and a bunch of other people that are going to be there.
Good name dropping. Okay, see, I just said me. He's on the Completionist, you know.
So anyway,
Shigeru
and
Miyamoto will
Megaran's
be
also
there.
Megaran has a concert on Saturday night.
Maybe he'll
All
remember
right.
who you are this time.
Well, I won't be there because I have to leave to go to a wedding on Sunday.
Oh man.
You should stay
So-
just to see if he remembers you.
Hey, it's big white guy. Anyway, with glasses.
I was doing an interview at PAX like 3 years ago. He just comes by mid-interview, he gives me dap, and just keeps on walking. And you say, "You remember who I am?"
I've met this man at least a dozen times. He's been on the show. Anyway, it's
Oh
cool.
man, that's
I
hilarious.
understand. We'll be up at New Jersey GamerCon in Cherry Hill this weekend. So stop on by, and we'll also be at Keystone Comic Con in the end of next month.
There's too many cons. Who can attend all these?
I'm attending 12 of them this year.
12.
I think so.
That's why you never want to leave the table, because you're kind of conned out. You're.
It's not only that; it's the way that I don't spend money.
Good
Did you
point.
see how much I spent at too many games?
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
But you requested that we buy games in your stead.
Oh, 100%. This isn't. I'm not saying that. I'm not blaming you guys in any way, shape, or form. But if I don't leave, if I'm at the table 100% of the time, I
It's
don't spend
safer.
money.
No, I got you.
And also, I'd like to think I'm okay at recruiting people. So yeah. The one other thing I did want to mention, GameEnthus is currently team ranked 98 out of over 2,000 teams on Extra Life. So
That's what's up.
yeah, the way to keep that.
And I haven't
number
raised
going up,
any money yet, so hey,
I was going to say the way to keep that number going up and get to our $12,000 goal this year. You raised $35.
Oh, there we go. $35. I better get started. I think, what is my goal? 1,200, something like that.
1,200. So
We gotta get started. Oh boy.
I didn't see this donation. Ben donated to you $1 for each day of the shutdown. At least something good can come out of it. Glad that it's over.
Oh, he did
Hopefully
do
it will
that.
not be
That is
repeated.
right. Shout out to Ben.
GameVet has a question. Real quick, does Will own more games than you guys?
Probably
So-
not.
Was this a Steam question or?
No, I think that you're talking about physical games.
I'm willing to. I'm willing to take that challenge.
Probably not. I think Pam's last video we had 1,200 or so.
You got me beat. So I'm probably
I own-
more in the 600 to 700 range.
I own 500 physical PC games.
Oh my goodness.
Well, just PC games?
Just PC. The binder is somewhere around here.
But my mom sent me a text today. She found my old Gabriel Knight, Alone in the Dark
See if
2.
I can reach it.
So she's been cleaning the basement. So yeah, I gotta.
I mean, if you want to add to your collection, I'll bring that box of PC games to your house again. that I brought
because the copy of Jones
years
and the
ago.
Fast Lane that you gave to me is still sitting in my garage.
Yeah.
What was that?
Jones and the
I mean,
Fast
I
Lane.
got lots of boxed PC titles that are completely worthless that I can bring to you again.
No, I'm good. I have enough worthless things in my life.
Yeah.
Man, when I throw away all the boxes for these PC games, that hurt.
But I'm pretty sure that if they keep digging, they're gonna find my old Castlevania for DOS. Some Duke Nukem, OG platformer Duke Nukems from back in the day.
This is one of the cases of PC games.
Man, you just showing off. Now we better get out of here. Well, any final words for you, sir?
No, I'm good, man. It's just again, really appreciate you having me on. It's great getting to know you guys. Hopefully, we can catch up at too many games next year. Spend more time than a quick handshake, and
Yes.
you on your way.
Yes. I felt so bad about that.
It's all
I
good,
was like,
man.
I had tunnel vision. Get back to the table
man.
with Cable.
No, it's hard. It's hard to have a conversation with people in that kind of environment because it's so like people are stopping you constantly, especially when I'm there with Pam. People are like flagging us down all the time. So it's just like, hey, nice to meet you. Okay, well, we'll see you out there, type of thing. So no, it's really hard to spend some time with someone. So like I was saying, maybe next time we can get like a meal or something while we're there. So
that sounds like a plan. Definitely. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Lord willing, we'll be back next week. I think. Yeah, we should be back next week, right?
Next week, August, yeah. Or end of July.
One of those months.
Depends on which day you want to record, I guess.
Every day next week.
No.
I like your dedication.
Sure.
All right, we're out of here.
Peace.